Danny Martinez wiped down the glass counter for the third time that morning. His hands moved slowly but carefully, making sure every spot was clean. The morning light from the artificial sun in Station Alpha 7 made the counter shine like a mirror. Danny smiled when he saw his reflection. Today was going to be a good day. Station Alpha 7 was the biggest shopping place in space. People called it the Galactic Mall, but it was much more than that. The station was as big as a small moon, floating in the darkness between stars. Millions of beings from hundreds of different worlds came here to buy, sell, and trade. The station never slept. There was always someone shopping, always someone working, always something happening. Danny had worked at Earth Goods for 2 years now. The store sold things from Earth to aliens who were curious about human culture. They had human music, human food, human clothes, and human books. Danny knew everything about every item in the store. When customers asked questions, Danny could tell them stories about where things came from, why humans liked them. The store was small compared to the giant alien shops around it. Some stores were as big as football fields, selling things that Danny could not even understand. But Earth Goods felt like home. The walls were painted blue like Earth's sky, and there were pictures of forests and oceans everywhere. Danny's favorite picture showed a beach in California where he grew up. Lisa Chen opened the back door and walked into the store. She was Danny's boss, but she was also his friend. Lisa was small and always moved fast, but she always had time. To talk to Danny, she carried a cup of coffee that smelled like earth in the morning. "Good morning, Danny," Lisa said with a smile. "How are you feeling today?" "I feel great, Lisa," Danny said. His words came out slowly, but they were clear. "I cleaned everything. The store looks perfect." Lisa looked around the store. It was neat. Every product was in the right place. The floor was clean enough to eat on. Danny took pride in his work and it showed. "You did a wonderful job," Lisa said. "I have to go to a meeting with the station managers today. Can you handle the store by yourself for a few hours?" Danny's face lit up. He loved it when Lisa trusted him to run the store alone. It made him feel important and grown up. "Yes, I can do it," Danny said. "I know where everything is. I know all." "The prices, I can help all the customers." Lisa patted Danny's shoulder. "I know you can. You're the best employee I've ever had." After Lisa left, Danny stood behind the counter and watched the people walk by outside. The main walkway of the station was like a river of different colors and shapes. There were tall, thin aliens with blue skin and 4 arms, or short. Round aliens covered in fur. Some aliens looked almost human. Others looked like nothing Danny had ever seen. A family of centaurians walked by the store window. They looked like humans, but with silver hair and golden eyes. The parents were holding hands with their 2 children. The little girl pressed her face against the window and stared at a display of Earth toys. Danny waved at her and she waved. Back with a big smile, an old Andromedan man shuffled into the store. Andromedans looked like trees that could walk. Their skin was brown and rough like bark, and their hair looked like leaves. This one had been coming to the store for months. His name was Groot9, and he always bought Earth music for his granddaughter. "Hello." "Grootnine," Danny said. "How is your granddaughter?" "She is very well, young Danny," Grootnine said in his deep, slow voice. "She has been singing the songs you recommended. Her favorite is the one about the yellow submarine." Danny smiled. He had told Groot9 about the Beatles last month. The old alien had bought every Beatles album in the store. "I have new music today," Danny said. He walked to the music section and picked up a collection of jazz records. This is called jazz. It's music that makes you feel relaxed and happy. Grootnine listened to a sample of the music on the store's player. His leaf-like hair rustled with pleasure. "This is beautiful," he said. "I will take all of them." After Grootnine left, more customers came in. A group of young vegan traders bought Earth sports equipment. They wanted to try playing basketball on their home planet. Danny explained the rules and showed them how to dribble the ball. A female Martian bought Earth spices for her restaurant. She said humans made the most interesting food in the galaxy. Each customer made Danny happy. He loved helping people find things they needed. He loved seeing their faces when they discovered something new about Earth culture. Most aliens were kind to Danny. They treated him with respect and patience. Some even came to the store just to talk to him. But not all aliens understood Danny. Some looked at him strangely when he spoke slowly or when he had to think about difficult questions. Few had been rude, but Lisa always protected Danny when that happened. She told him that some people were just mean, and it was not his fault. Danny did not think about the mean people very often. He preferred to remember the kind ones like Groot 9 and the Centaurian family and the Martian restaurant owner. They made him feel like he belonged in this big, strange, wonderful place. As the morning turned to afternoon, Danny noticed more activity outside the store. Security guards in blue uniforms were walking around more than usual. Ships were landing at the docking bays every few minutes. Something important was happening on the station today. Danny was arranging a display of Earth's books when he heard two aliens talking outside his store. "Human ambassadors here for the big meeting," one alien said. "Which human ambassador?" The other asked. "The famous one. The one who used to be in movies. Rivers, I think his name is." Danny had heard of Ambassador Rivers. Lisa had shown him pictures and videos. The ambassador looked familiar, but Danny could not remember where he had seen him before. Lisa said he was a good man who helped humans and aliens understand each other. Danny went back to his work, humming a song he had learned as a child. The store was peaceful, and he was happy. He did not know that his peaceful day was about to change forever. He did not know that soon everything he believed about kindness and fairness would be tested. He did not know that a single moment of cruelty would change not just his life, but the lives of beings across the entire galaxy. The afternoon was busy at Earth Goods. Danny had helped 12 customers buy things from Earth. He felt proud of himself. Each time someone left the store happy, Danny smiled a little bigger. He was putting new books on the shelf when he heard heavy footsteps outside. The door chimed as someone entered the store. Danny turned around and saw an alien he had never seen before. The creature was tall, much taller than Danny. Its skin was dark purple and looked like leather. It had 4 eyes, 2 on each side of its head, and they were all looking at different things in the store. The alien wore expensive clothes made of shiny fabric that changed colors in the light. Danny could tell this alien was rich. Everything about it screamed money and power. It moved like it owned the whole station. Its long fingers had rings that sparkled with precious stones from worlds Danny had never heard of. "Hello," Danny said with his usual friendly smile. "Welcome to Earth." "Good, my name is Danny. How can I help you today?" The alien stopped walking and stared at Danny. All 4 eyes focused on him at once. Danny felt uncomfortable, but he kept smiling. Sometimes aliens stared because they had never seen a human before. "You," the alien said, in a voice that sounded like metal scraping against stone. "You are the worker here." "Yes, sir," Danny said. "I work here. I can help you find anything you want. We have music and books and food and clothes and toys and many other things from Earth." The alien's 4 eyes narrowed. It walked closer to Danny, and Danny could smell something like burning metal. This alien smelled angry. "I am Vexstar," the alien said. "I am from the Zephyrian Empire. We are the most advanced species in this galaxy. I came here to buy gifts for my business partners. They sent me a broken human." Danny did not understand what the alien meant. "Broken? I am not broken, sir. I can help you find whatever you need." Vexstar made a sound that might have been laughing, but it was not a happy sound. "Look at you. You speak like a child. You move slowly. Your brain does not work right. On my world, creatures like you do not live past birth." Danny felt his stomach twist. He had heard words like this before, but not very often. Most people were kind to him. His face started to feel hot. "I am not broken," Danny said quietly. "I just learned differently. I can still help you. Please tell me what you want to buy." Vexstar slammed one of his hands on the counter. The sound was so loud that other aliens outside turned to look through the window. "I do not want help from a defective creature," Vexstar shouted. "Where's your superior? Where's a real human who can think properly?" Danny's hands started to shake. He did not like it when people yelled at him, but he tried to stay calm, like Lisa had taught him. "My manager's not here right now," Danny said. but I know everything about our products. I have been working here for 2 years. I can help you just as well as anyone else." Vextor's 4 eyes blazed with anger, grabbed a display of Earth's music boxes and threw them on the floor. The little boxes broke into pieces, and their tiny songs stopped forever. "You lie," Vextor hissed. "Inferior beings cannot do the same work as superior beings. It is impossible. Your species should not allow genetic waste like you to work in public places." More aliens were gathering outside the store now. Some were taking pictures and videos with their devices. Danny could see them pointing and whispering. His heart was beating fast, and his hands were shaking more. "Please stop," Danny said. His voice was getting smaller. "You are scaring me. I just want to help you." Vextor laughed that horrible laugh again. "Scared good? Fear is the only thing your kind should feel. On Zephyria, we eliminate defects before they can contaminate our society. We are strong because we only keep the perfect ones." The alien walked around the store, knocking things off shelves. Earth books fell to the floor. Music discs cracked under his heavy feet. A beautiful vase from California shattered against the wall. "Look around you," Vextor said to the aliens watching outside. "This is what happens when inferior species allow their genetic mistakes to live. They put them in stores where civilized beings have to see them." Danny felt tears starting in his eyes. He wanted Lisa to come back. He wanted to hide in the back room until this mean alien went away. But he was the only one here. He had to protect the store. "Please stop breaking things," Danny said. "These are not just products. They are pieces of my homeworld. They mean something to people." Vextor stopped and stared at Danny again. "Your homeworld? Earth is a backward planet full of genetic failures like you. Your species accepts defects instead of eliminating them. That is why you will never be truly civilized." The alien picked up a picture of Earth from space. It was Danny's favorite picture in the whole store. Showed the blue and green planet floating in the darkness, beautiful and perfect. "This is your precious Earth," Vextor asked. "World that allows creatures like you to live?" Danny stepped forward. He was scared, but he was also getting angry. His alien could call him names, but Danny would not let him talk bad about Earth. "Earth is beautiful," Danny said. "It is full of good people who care about each other. We help each other. We do not hurt people just because they are different." Vextor raised the picture above his head, ready to smash it on the floor. "Then Earth is weak," he said. But before he could break the picture, Danny heard a new voice from the doorway. It was calm and quiet, but somehow it filled the whole store. "Is there a problem here?" Danny looked toward the door and saw a man standing there. He was human, with brown hair and kind eyes. Was not very tall. But something about him made him seem important. The man looked at the broken things on the floor, then at Vextor, then at Danny. Danny felt something change in the room. The angry alien suddenly seemed smaller. The watching crowd outside grew quiet. Even the station's usual noise seemed to fade away. The human stranger stepped into the store, and Danny felt safer than he had felt since this whole thing started. The human man walked into the store with quiet steps. He moved like water, smooth and calm. Danny noticed that the man was not young, but he was not old either. His face looked like it had seen many things, both good and bad. But his eyes were. Kind Vextor still held the picture of Earth above his head, turned his 4 eyes toward the human man. The alien's face showed surprise and then anger. "Another human," Vextor said with disgust. "Are you here to defend this genetic failure? Or are you here to buy something like a civilized being?" The human man looked around the store, saw the broken music boxes on the floor. He saw the scattered books and cracked discs, saw the fear in Danny's eyes. He spoke. His voice was still calm, but now it had an edge like steel. "I see a young man doing his job," the human said. "And I see someone making a mess in his store. That seems like a problem to me." Vextor laughed his harsh laugh. "His store? This creature should not even be allowed in civilized society. Look at him. He speaks like a baby. He thinks like a baby. On my world, we would have eliminated him before he could walk." The human man took another step closer. Danny noticed that other aliens outside the store had stopped to watch. Some were holding up their recording devices. The whole scene was being broadcast across the station's networks. "Your world eliminates people for being different?" the human asked. "Tell me more about that." Vextar's chest puffed up with pride. "Zephyria is the greatest civilization in this galaxy because we only keep the perfect ones. We test every newborn. If they are not perfect in body and mind, we remove them. That is how we became so advanced." "I see," the human said. "And you think that makes you better than other species?" "Of course it does," Vextar said. "Look at this human creature. His brain is damaged. He cannot think properly. He moves slowly. He speaks slowly. He is a waste of resources that could be used for perfect beings." Danny felt his heart breaking. He had heard these words before, but never said with such hate. He wanted to run away and hide. But the human man looked at him and nodded, as if to say everything would be okay. "You know what I think is interesting?" the human man said. "You call yourself advanced, but you are standing in this young man's store, breaking his things, scaring him, and making yourself look like a fool in front of everyone watching." Vextar's 4 eyes blazed with anger. "How dare you call me a fool? I am Vextar of the Zephyrian Empire. My family has ruled for 1,000 years. We are the most perfect beings in the galaxy." "Perfect?" the human man asked. "You break things that do not belong to you. You hurt people who cannot fight back. You think being cruel makes you strong. If that is perfection, I would rather be imperfect." The alien raised the picture of Earth. "Higher, your backward planet creates creatures like this one. You should be ashamed. You should eliminate the defects and make your species pure." "Wait, let me tell you something about Earth," the human man said. He stepped closer to Danny, putting himself between the young man and the angry alien. "We learned a long time ago that being different is not the same as being broken." Danny felt tears on his cheeks, but they were not tears of fear anymore. Someone was standing up for him. Someone was fighting for him. "This young man," the human continued, "has something you will never have. He has kindness. He has patience. He cares about helping others. He finds joy in simple things. He makes people feel welcome and happy. You call that defective?" Vextar snarled. "Kindness is weakness. Patience is slowness. Joy is foolishness. These are not valuable traits." "Then I feel sorry for you," the human man said. "And I feel sorry for your whole civilization. You eliminate everyone who is different, and then you wonder why you have no compassion, no creativity, no growth. You have made yourselves perfect and perfectly empty." More aliens were gathering outside now. Danny could see dozens of faces pressed against the windows. Some were aliens who had shopped at Earth's goods before. He saw Groot 9, the old Andromedan who bought music. He saw the Centaurian family with the little girl who liked Earth toys. "You want to know what is really interesting about humans?" the human man continued. "Some of our greatest achievements came from people your society would have eliminated. People who thought differently. People who saw the world in new ways. People who were called broken or defective or wrong." Vextar was shaking with rage now. "Lies. Inferior beings cannot achieve greatness." "Really?" the human asked. "Let me tell you about some humans your perfect society would have killed. There was a man who could barely speak as a child. People thought he was stupid. He grew up to understand how the universe works better than anyone before him. There was a woman who could not hear, but she became one of our greatest teachers. There was a man who saw and thought differently than others. And he painted pictures that still move people to tears hundreds of years later." Danny listened to these words and felt something growing in his chest. It was warm and strong and made him stand up straighter. "These people were not broken," the human man continued. "They were different, and their differences made them powerful. They saw things others could not see. They understood things others could not understand. They gave gifts to the world that only they could give." Vextar looked around at all the watching aliens. Some of them were nodding. Some were looking at him with disgust. His perfect plan to humiliate Danny was falling apart. "This is nonsense," Vextar said, but his voice was not as strong as before. "Genetic purity is the only path to advancement." The human man smiled, but it was not a happy smile. "Then explain something to me. If your species is so advanced, so perfect, so superior, why are you here, alone, buying gifts from inferior humans. If you are so great, why do you need anything from us? Vexstar had no answer. He looked at the picture of Earth still in his hands, then at Danny, then at the human man who had appeared from nowhere to defend a store clerk. Who are you? Vexstar demanded. What gives you the right to lecture me? The human man was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke in a voice that carried. To every alien watching outside, my name's Keanu Reeves, he said, and I am the human ambassador to the Galactic Federation. The words hung in the air like thunder. Keanu Reeves, the human ambassador. Danny's mouth fell open. He had seen this man before in old movies that Lisa sometimes played in the store, but he looked different now, older and more serious. Vexstar stepped backward, almost dropping the picture of Earth. His 4 eyes went wide with shock. Around the store, aliens pressed closer to the windows. Their recording devices captured every word, every expression, every moment of this unexpected confrontation. You, Vexter said, his voice suddenly much quieter. You are the famous human. The one who speaks for your species at the big meetings. I am, Keanu said. And right now, I am speaking for this young man who cannot defend himself against your cruelty. Keanu put his hand on Danny's shoulder. Danny felt the fear leaving his body. Having the ambassador of his entire species standing beside him made him feel strong and protected. Danny, Keanu said gently, are you hurt? Danny wiped his eyes and shook his head. No, sir. He just scared me and broke some things. But I am okay now. Keanu looked at the broken music boxes, the scattered books, the cracked picture frame on the floor. His face grew serious. Vexstar, Keanu said, you came into this store as a customer. This young man welcomed you with kindness. He offered to help you find what you needed. And you responded with violence and hate. Is this how the great Zephyrian Empire conducts business? Vexter's purple face was turning darker. He realized that his actions were being broadcast across the galaxy. Important people would see this. His own government would see this. He is defective, Vexter said, but his voice lacked the power it had before. My people do not deal with genetic failures. Then your people are missing something beautiful, Keanu said. He turned to look at Danny. Tell me, Danny, how long have you worked here? 2 years, sir, Danny said. I love my job. I help people find things from Earth. I make them happy. And do you remember your customers? Did they come back? To see you? Danny's face lit up despite everything that had happened. Yes. Many customers are my friends now, like Groot 9. He comes every month to buy music for his granddaughter and the Centaurian family. Their little girl loves Earth toys. And Mrs. Zara, from the vegan system. She buys spices for her restaurant. As if summoned by Danny's words, Groot 9 pushed through the crowd outside. The old tree-like alien's bark skin was rough with anger. His leaf hair rustled as he entered the store. What is happening here? Groot 9 demanded in his deep voice. Why is someone making Danny cry? Behind him came the Centaurian family. Father's golden eyes flashed with protective anger. The mother held her daughter's hand tightly. Then the little girl looked upset. Danny is our friend, the Centaurian father said. He helped us find the perfect birthday gift for our daughter. He spent an entire afternoon showing us different toys and explaining how Earth children play. More customers began pushing into the store. Mrs. Zara, the vegan restaurant owner, her 6 arms crossed with displeasure. A group of young Martian students who bought Earth music every week. An elderly Andromedan couple who collected Earth books. This boy is the kindest person on the entire station, Mrs. Zara said, pointing one of her arms at Vexter. He helped me understand Earth cooking. My restaurant is famous now because of the recipes he shared with me. He taught us about human sports, one of the Martian students added. We started a basketball team on Mars because of Danny. He reads to us, the elderly Andromedan woman said softly. Earth poetry. We are too old to see the words clearly. But Danny reads to us every week. He makes the words come alive. Vexstar looked around at all these aliens defending Danny. His perfect plan was crumbling. These beings from different worlds and different species all spoke of Danny with love and respect. This proves nothing, Vexter said desperately. They feel sorry for him. That is not the same as respect. Keanu smiled, and this time, it was a real smile. You still do not understand, do you? These people do not pity Danny. They value him. Come to him not because they have to, but because they want to. He gives them something they cannot get anywhere else. What could a defective human possibly give to superior beings? Vexstar demanded. Joy, said the little Centaurian girl. She had been quiet until now, hiding behind her parents. But she stepped forward and looked up at Vexstar with brave golden eyes. Danny makes me happy. He smiles at me and tells me stories about Earth children. He is my friend. The simple honesty of the child's words hit everyone in the room like a physical force. Several aliens made sounds of agreement. Others began speaking up, sharing their own stories about Danny's kindness. Keanu listened to each story, nodding with understanding. When the voices died down, he turned back to Vexstar. Do you know what you are witnessing here? Keanu asked. This is why humans will never adopt your system of genetic purity. This young man, who you called defective, has touched the lives of dozens of beings from across the galaxy. He has brought joy, kindness, and understanding to people who were strangers. He has built bridges between species through simple human compassion. Vexstar was quiet now, but his 4 eyes still burned with anger and confusion. Your perfect genetic system, Keanu continued, would have killed Danny before he could walk. The galaxy would have lost something irreplaceable. All these friendships, all this joy, all this connection between different worlds, none of it would exist. Is that really what you call superior? Danny listened to Ambassador Reeves speak about him and felt something he had never felt before. He felt important, not just useful, not just tolerated, but truly valuable. These people were not just being nice to him. They really cared about him. I want to say something, Danny said quietly. Everyone turned to look at him. The store packed, with aliens and humans, grew completely silent. Danny looked at Vexstar, no longer afraid. I am sorry you think I am broken, but I am not. I am different, and that is okay. I learn slowly, but I learn well. I speak carefully, but I speak truthfully. I may not be perfect like you want people to be, but I try every day to be kind and helpful and good. He paused, gathering his courage for the most important words he had ever spoken. Maybe being perfect is not as important as being kind. Danny's words spread through the store like ripples in water. The aliens who had gathered to defend him nodded with approval. Some wiped tears from their eyes. Even the security guards who had arrived to investigate the noise stood quietly moved by the young man's simple honesty. But outside the store, something much bigger was happening. The videos and live streams of the confrontation were racing across the galaxy's communication networks. Beings on hundreds of worlds were watching a Zephyrian merchant attack a human with Down syndrome. They were watching humanity's ambassador defend him. On the bridge of a cargo ship near Jupiter, the captain stopped her work to watch the feed. On a research station orbiting a distant star, scientists paused their experiments. In the halls of the Galactic Federation building, diplomats abandoned their meetings to crowd around screens. Inside Earthgood's, Vexstar stood frozen. He realized that his moment of cruelty was being seen by billions of beings across known space. His perfect reputation was crumbling in real time. This has gone too far, Vexstar said, his voice shaking. Not to debate politics with inferior species. You made it political the moment you called Danny inferior, Keanu replied. You represent your government here, just as I represent mine. Your actions reflect on all Zephyrians, just as Danny's kindness reflects on all humans. At that moment, Lisa Chen pushed through the crowd outside and into her store. She saw the broken items, the packed room, and Danny standing beside the human ambassador. Her face went from confusion to understanding to fury in seconds. What happened to my store? Lisa demanded. Danny, are you hurt? I am okay, Lisa, Danny said. This alien man was mean to me, but Ambassador Reeves helped me. And all our friends came to help too. Lisa looked at the crowd of alien customers who had rallied to defend her employee. She saw Grutnine, the Centaurian family, Mrs. Zara, and dozens of others. Her anger turned to pride. These are Danny's customers, Lisa said to Vexstar. They come here because they love shopping with him. He knows more about Earth culture than anyone I have ever met. He cares about every person who walks through that door. What exactly did you think was wrong with him?
X-Star's communication
Device began beeping frantically. Messages were pouring in from across the galaxy. Some supported him, but many more condemned his actions. His own government was sending urgent messages demanding an explanation. The Zephyrian Council is calling for an emergency session, Vexstar said, reading his device with growing panic. They want to discuss this incident immediately.
Good,
Keanu said. Because the human diplomatic corps is also calling an emergency session, this is no longer just about one store or one customer. This is about what kind of galaxy we want to live in. On his communication device, Keanu was receiving messages from human settlements across space. The president of Earth was asking for a full report. The Human Rights Commission wanted to know if Danny needed legal protection. News agencies were requesting interviews, but the most important messages were coming from other species. The Andromedan High Council had issued a statement supporting Danny and condemning genetic discrimination. The Centaurian Parliament was drafting new laws to protect beings with disabilities. Even some Zephyrian citizens were posting messages of shame about their representatives' behavior. Look at what you have started, Keanu said, showing his device to Vexstar. Beings across the galaxy are talking about inclusion, about diversity, about the value of every life. Danny's simple act of being himself has sparked a conversation that spans hundreds of worlds. Danny listened to all of this with wonder. Could not believe that his normal day at work had become something so big and important. But he was not scared anymore. He felt supported by his friends and protected by his ambassador. I want to say something to everyone watching, Danny announced. Keanu looked surprised but nodded. The whole galaxy is listening, Danny. What do you want to tell them? Danny looked directly into one of the recording devices. He knew that somewhere far across space, beings like himself might be watching. Beings who had been told they were broken or defective or worthless. My name is Danny Martinez, he said clearly. I have something called Down syndrome. It makes me learn differently than other people. Some people think that makes me broken, but I do not think so. I think it makes me special. He paused, gathering his thoughts like Lisa had taught him when he wanted to say something important. I work at Earth Goods because I love helping people. I love seeing their faces when they find something that makes them happy. I love learning about their worlds and their cultures. I love making friends with beings who are different from me. Around the store, aliens were crying. Even some of the tough security guards had tears in their eyes. If someone tells you that you are broken because you are different, they are wrong. Danny continued, You are not broken. You are just you. And being you is enough. Being you is wonderful. Across the galaxy, beings who had never heard of Down syndrome were learning about it for the first time. Parents of children with disabilities were crying with joy. Advocacy groups were organizing. Governments were reviewing their policies about inclusion and accessibility. But in some places, the reaction was different. On several worlds where genetic purity was valued, protests erupted. Some species that practiced eugenics declared the human approach to be weakness. A few governments threatened to cut ties with Earth if humans continued to promote genetic defects. The galaxy was dividing into two camps, those who believed in the value of all life, and those who believed in perfection through elimination. Vexstar's device beeped with an urgent message from the Zephyrian High Command. His face went pale as he read it. I am being recalled to Zephyria immediately, he said. I must explain my actions to the Supreme Council. Will you tell them about Danny? Keanu asked. Will you tell them about the kindness he showed you, even when you were cruel to him? Will you tell them about the friends who defended him? Vexstar looked around the store one more time, saw the broken items he had destroyed in his anger, saw the aliens who had come to support a human they barely knew, saw Danny, still standing tall despite everything that had happened. We'll tell them what I witnessed, Vexstar said quietly, but I do not know if they will understand. As the Zephyrian left the store, Keanu turned to Danny and smiled. You know what you just did? Keanu asked. Danny shook his head. You just changed. The galaxy. 3 months had passed since the incident at Earth Goods. Danny woke up every morning in his small apartment on Station Alpha 7 and smiled. But today was going to be another good day. But many things had changed since that afternoon when Vexstar tried to hurt him with words and anger. The galaxy was different now. Danny was different too, though he was still the same kind person he had always been. Danny got dressed and walked to work through the station's main corridor. As always, beings from dozens of worlds filled the walkways, but now many of them recognized him. Some waved and called his name. Others stopped to shake his hand or ask how he was doing. "Good morning, Danny," called out a young Martian girl. She had been born without one of her arms, but she wore her difference with pride. "I start my new job at the bookstore today. Thank you for showing me that I could do anything." Danny smiled and waved back. "You will do great. Remember to be kind to all your customers." When Danny reached Earth Goods, he found Lisa already there, arranging a new display. The store looked the same as always, except for one small addition. On the wall behind the counter hung a framed copy of the Galactic Inclusion Accords, signed by representatives from 847 different worlds. Most people called them the Danny Accords. "Morning, Danny," Lisa said. "Are you ready for another busy day?" Danny nodded. Ever since the incident became famous across the galaxy, Earth Goods had become one of the most visited stores on the station. Beings came from everywhere to meet Danny and to shop where the famous confrontation had happened. But they also came because the store had become a symbol of something important. It represented the idea that everyone deserved respect and kindness. No matter how different they might be, the first customer of the day was someone Danny had never seen before. She was from a species called the crystalline people. Her body looked like it was made of living diamond. But one of her arms was shorter than the other, and she walked with a special device to help her move. "Are you Danny Martinez?" In a voice that sounded like wind chimes. "Yes, I am," Danny said. "Welcome to Earth Goods. How can I help you today?" "Came here because of your speech," she said. "On my world, people like me are hidden away. We are not allowed to work or go to school or make friends. But after I saw your video, I decided to leave my world and find a place where I could be myself." Danny felt his heart grow warm. You did the right thing. Being different is not bad. It just makes you special in your own way. The crystalline woman bought several books about Earth culture and a music box that played a song about being brave. She left. She turned back to Danny. "Thank you for showing me that I matter," she said. Throughout the morning, more customers came with similar stories. An Andromedon man whose mind worked differently than other Andromedans. A Centaurian family with a son who could not speak but communicated with his hands. A group of vegan traders who had started the first disability rights organization on their world. All of them had been inspired by Danny's simple message. Being different was not being broken. At noon, Ambassador Keanu Reeves arrived at the store. He came by every few weeks to check on Danny and to buy small gifts for diplomatic meetings. But today he brought special news. The Galactic Federation Council has made a final decision about the Zephyrian Empire, Keanu said. Danny looked up from the inventory list he was working on. What did they decide? Zephyria has been suspended from the Federation until they change their laws about genetic purity, Keanu explained. They can no longer trade freely with other worlds or participate in diplomatic meetings. The galaxy has decided that species who eliminate people for being different are not welcome in civilized society. Danny felt sad for a moment. What about Vexstar? Is he in trouble? Keanu smiled at Danny's concern for the being who had been so cruel to him. Vexstar has actually become something of a hero on his own world. When he returned to Zephyria, he told the Supreme Council about everything he witnessed here. He described your kindness, your knowledge, your dedication to helping others. He argued that the Zephyrian way was wrong. Really? Danny asked with surprise. Really? There is now a growing movement on Zephyria calling for change. They call themselves the Danny Movement. They want to create a society that values all types of people, not just the ones they consider perfect. Lisa came over to join the conversation. That is amazing news. What about the other worlds? 237 worlds have passed new laws protecting the rights of beings with disabilities, Keanu said. 15 species have completely changed their approach to genetic diversity. The Andromedon High Council has established the Danny Martinez Foundation to support research into different types of minds and bodies. Danny felt overwhelmed by all of this information. I just wanted to do my job and help customers. I never meant to change anything so big. That is exactly why you were able to change it, Keanu said. You were not trying to be a hero or make a political statement. You were just being yourself. And yourself turned out to be exactly what the galaxy needed to see. As the afternoon wore on, Danny helped dozens more customers. Each one reminded him that his simple act of standing up for himself had rippled outward like waves on a pond, touching lives across the known universe. Near closing time, a familiar figure appeared. In the doorway, it was Vexstar, but he looked different. His expensive clothes were gone, replaced by simple robes. His 4 eyes, once filled with anger and pride, now showed something that looked like humility. "Hello, Danny," Vexter said quietly. Danny felt a moment of fear, but it passed quickly. This alien was not the same angry person who had broken things in his store. "Hello, Vexstar," Danny said. "Are you here to shop?" Vexstar nodded. "I am here to buy gifts for some new friends. I have started working with young Zephyrians who are different from what our society calls normal. I am learning that different can be wonderful." Danny smiled and showed Vexstar around the store, helping him pick out books and toys and music that would make his young friends happy. As the former merchant prepared to leave, he turned to Danny one more time. "I owe you an apology, Vexter," said, "and I owe you thanks. You taught me something my perfect education never could. You taught me how to see the value in every living being." After Vexter left, Danny stood in his store and looked around at everything he and Lisa had built together. Shelves full of Earth culture, the pictures of his home world, the friends who visited every day. But most importantly, he looked at the galactic accords on the wall that bore his name. Danny Martinez, a young man with Down syndrome who just wanted to help customers find things that made them happy, had accidentally taught the galaxy how to be kinder, and that, he thought, was the most wonderful thing of all.